It'd have to be Carl in Britannia Waves the Rules by Gareth Farr, which is probably kind of, obviously with him being my old head of acting, but I think that was the first play that I went to see at the Royal Exchange that was like, this is why I want to be an actor. Like, this is the kind of work that I want to be a part of. And at the time, the actor who played it is now a very close friend of mine, Dan Parr. And actually to have that kind of, it's a bit fanboy to my mate. I'm like, mate, do you know what? I came and like seeing you play that part, and it was like why I really wanted to get into acting. But I think it would be Carl and Britannia Waves the Rules by Gareth Farr at the Royal Exchange. So yeah, I think that's, and it's just, I think it's a story about kind of a soldier from the north who kind of returns back to the life after kind of, you know, kind of conflict, frontline conflict with kind of PTSD, and it's kind of the whole story of like wanting to escape where you're from, but actually like where you're from actually is what is everything about you. And I just think for me it was just like the first bit of kind of raw, visceral kind of regional theatre that I'd seen that made me kind of go, this is what I want to do, and these are the kind of parts I want to play. And it's just stuck with me like from the beginning. Like there was no big set, it was literally just like a bungee cord and the actors on stage, and you know, very minimal kind of staging and props and sets and stuff like that. But yeah, it was just incredible to kind of experience that, and to now know that it was who's now a mate of mine that played it, is just takes it to another level. So yeah, Carl in Britannia Waves the Rules by Gareth Farr at the Royal Exchange. So the character that I'm playing actually came unnamed, and there was never any reference to him kind of a name in itself. So myself and the director Vives named him Dave, and we've had a couple of takes on Dave kind of through the process, and kind of who he was and kind of what the monologue was about. But I think he's kind of this kind of wannabe kind of gangster, but really kind of this adolescent kind of very Jack in the Box kind of character, whose energy is kind of a bit all over the place, while at the same time trying to kind of maintain this bravado. And actually, I do really think that we'd get on. I think I find him adorable, and actually everything that he kind of does through the piece, there's actually a lot of myself in it. This whole idea of like, yeah, like I'm fine, da 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 da. And then like these little tiny things, like for me, it's spiders getting them. Like, oh my God, like my housemate Callum, like, Callum, there's a spider in the bathroom. Can you come and get it? And he'll come in and it's tiny, and he's like, mate, really? So I think the character that we found, Dave, I think absolutely we'd get on. And you know, I've been very lucky to work with Vives in the past, and obviously during Beast of Blue Yonder, and there's kind of been a few kind of character references within that. I won't kind of put any spoilers for kind of when we do get that out, but we've kind of referred Dave to being one of the characters in A Beast of Blue Yonder that's actually worked really well as a character reference. So yeah, he's kind of just this adolescent kind of wannabe bravado kind of young man who kind of gets taken on a journey of fear and terror, love and lust, I suppose. And yeah, it's been a roller coaster of a ride for me so far. So I'm excited to kind of get it on stage and kind of see where it goes. If I could tell my younger self something before applying to drama school, and kind of before I started on this kind of it actually being my job journey, it'd be stop being an idiot. You don't know everything. Take your feedback on board and work with it, because you've still got so much growing to do. I think would be the advice I give to myself. Do you know what? I'll be honest, and I think it's come out of the current situation that we've been in, kind of this whole like lockdown scenario and just being surrounded by like-minded people. I genuinely think it'd be relax, like it will come, just enjoy life outside of the acting world, like open your eyes to the world around you and just live within the kind of current scenario and situation that you find yourself in, because it was always going to happen. It's just whether or not you waited for it to happen. Because I think at the minute, as young actors, we're chasing, and we let life just kind of pass us by. And, you know, I'll probably look back on it in just 5 years' time and go, oh my God, from the age of 25 to 30, what did you do that you wanted to do as a human being, not just as an actor? And I think like lockdown has really opened my eyes to that. When I've not been able to get to where I want to be acting wise, like, you know, I've not had recalls or first rounds or conversations with creatives that maybe I would have had if things were still going on. Like when I left Art Said, I kind of made a plan. We make a plan like a 12-month plan on kind of where we want to be, and I do it every January. Like when I sit down with New Year's resolutions, and obviously I say a big plan. I had my plan for this year, and obviously that's been completely scuppered. So I kind of sat down and went, all right, take acting out of the scenario and out of the situation as we've had to during this year, pretty much. Where do you want to be this time next year as kind of a human being? And I think for me, that'd be the advice a 50-year-old me would give to present day me, is that you should have sat in them moments that came by, and then sat in them moments that you experienced and enjoyed them for what they were, rather than just 100 miles an hour at everything to do with the creative stuff. Because I don't think I personally give myself enough time in them moments, and just sit, relax in it, and enjoy them for what they are, enjoy the people around me and what's going on. James Bond? No, imagine. Do you know what? Really strangely, and I know it's kind of, you know, I always said to myself, like when I was going through college, that I would have loved to have kind of taken up psychology, but not do the exams, because I used to love it. But then when I had to remember all the statistics and everything, I just used to hate it. So like, I probably would have like maybe done a bit of psychology somewhere and kind of maybe gone down the therapy route. But recently, I don't know why, I don't know where it's come from, but I've had this urge and like this kind of about like being a fireman, and I don't know where it's come from. I don't know what it is, but like, because my housemate Callum, who studied at Art Said, he's doing all like his Royal Marines training, and like we just sat down and had a chat about like it and like where he's going to go and what it means. And I'm like, do you know what? I've had this thing recently about like training to be a fireman. I was like, but it's definitely not something you can do part time, so I probably won't. And I know that's not kind of like the big kind of, yes, I'm going to make millions, but I just think I've just had it in my head recently, so that's going to be my answer, for the pure fact that I've not thought about anything else other than being an actor. And so the kind of first thing that's come to my head is a fireman, so I'll go with that. If I was giving advice to a drama school student looking for monologues, I would say stay true to yourself. I think my first year of auditioning, didn't do that. I was like, what do they want to see? What would they like to see? And I was just well off the mark. I'd done my Shakespeare monologue in an RP accent. And then the second year I went back, I found the kind of speech that I wanted to do, and I'd done my Shakespeare in my own accent, and I walked in and I went, do you know what? This is me. Love it or hate it, take it or leave it. And I think that is the answer. I think it's about finding work. Basically, if you're looking for a monologue, you want to pick it up and go, if I was given £1 million contract, or, you know, a contract at the Royal Court or the Royal Exchange, and it was to play a part, this would be the perfect part. And I firmly believe that that part is out there. And, you know, I went through the same thing looking for my showcase scenes. It's about finding the perfect part for you. And I know people might say, yeah, but it's not out there. Honestly, without being horrible, like, look harder, because it will be there. And I think it's just about, you know, I'm going to say a part that's true to you. I just went and I read like every play set in the North, looked at every Northern playwright, read their plays, researched their plays, went and seen what I could see. Don't get me wrong, theatre for me at the minute is very, well, for the world is very kind of inaccessible due to the finances. Like, I do feel that a lot of theatre is extortionate, but there are schemes out there, all the regional theatres that do the £5 tickets, that do the pay what you can. Just go and see, because, you know, you might go and see a play that the context might not appeal to you, but the writing, you know, you might go and watch like a Simon Stephens go, I didn't quite like that, but this kind of naturalistic kind of social realism writing is what I want to be doing. So then go and research that playwright. And I think it's just then about, you know, really like just really understanding it, and kind of don't try and put anything onto it. Just do it as you. Don't try and, do you know what I'm going to go? Don't try and build a character. Just do it as you, you know, because all they want to see, and I'm a firm believer that the auditions that I'm going up for now, they just want to see you as the character, not your version of the character. A lot of the stuff now, they're just looking for the character, and that being you. And so just bring yourself to it, sit down, pull it apart, break it into sections, work out the character arc. Where does the character start? Where does he end? And what happens in the middle? And how does that influence either side? And we could sit and talk about this all day, But I mean, do you know what? I've actually got it here. How convenient. There's a book called The Acting Book by John Abbott, who's, I believe, the old head of acting at Arts Ed. And that book really just breaks down everything as an actor to kind of, you know, it's pretty much my 3 years of training in a book. And it just breaks down everything that you could do. You know, again, my 3 years acting school, probably 33% of it's useful and I'll use it, but it's about taking that other 66% and going, that doesn't work, that's fine, I've got it if I need it, but I'll use your other 33%. And I think it's about just finding what works for you. So yeah, I guess that's what how I'd advise to do it, and just keep running it and finding new bits that I'm still doing in rehearsals with our director Vives at the minute. And I think it's just about keeping it fresh and like keep changing it up, try it in different ways, even if it doesn't work like that, put it in a different scenario, even if it doesn't work like that. And I guess eventually, as you will, hopefully, if you get into drama school, you'll start to find your ways of working. And it might be completely juxtaposing to the ways that you were taught, but them 3 years then were about understanding that that way doesn't work for you. Because I firmly believe that every actor's got their own way. And yeah, just like sitting in the text. And like I said at the start, the advice to my younger self, just relax and enjoy it, really. It might not be the funniest moment. In fact, it was funny, but I spent like weeks with my family and mates planning my 18th birthday, and I was like, we're gonna do this, and like it was the whole lads way, let's go out, get drunk, da 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 da. And in the end, I drank that much that I spent the entire evening from 7 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the morning sat over the river in Manchester, just getting sick. Missed the whole night out. Didn't see anyone. I just drank too much Jaeger and completely missed the night. So I think, yes, it would be a funny moment, but I think it's a big lesson to myself. I don't know what the lesson is, but there's a lesson in there somewhere. But off the top of my head, that's a moment that sticks with me for going, you idiot, but also kind of a big life lesson. But off the top of my head, I think that's probably it. Or yeah, no, I'm going to go with that. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. So the first memory of kind of performing and realising that acting is what I want to do, apart from all the teachers at school telling me I was a little shit and I didn't concentrate in class, so fuck off and do something else, and getting a knee injury and not being able to play sport. I think the first memory was in year 6, and I still chat to him now, I go to City Games with him, we have beers all the time, but our teacher at the time was like a guitarist and he played music, and he'd be the one who like played the guitars while we were doing hymns in class and that. And he'd wrote like his own version of like a Beatles play called like The Yellow Submarine, or whether I don't know if he wrote it or he's actually, anyway, it was like our version of it that hadn't been done before or whatever it was. And I played John Lennon. And it was just like fucking brilliant. I was like, oh my God, like I can stand up here, be a dick, people laugh at me, I'm enjoying it. There's no fucking writing, there's no exams, fucking brilliant. And so that was playing John Lennon in a year 6 kind of production of Yellow Submarine. And it was kind of like an escapism. Like I had a lot of shit going on at the time, like a lot of personal shit. And it was just time when I didn't have to think about it. And just when I was free to kind of be doing what I was doing, and just this whole idea of being someone else, and which obviously, you know, sounds very like, yeah, but you didn't realize that at that age. But I did. I was like, wow, this isn't me. Like, this is great. I could do what I want and won't be judged and blah, blah, blah. And so that was kind of the first sight of it. But obviously, like, it wasn't, I had no mates who were doing it. Like my family, like my mum and dad had just grafted, like old school Irish family, and my whole family had just worked and never really kind of like practically worked. And so it was never like a thing for me. And so kind of, I was always doing it and going to my classes, and everyone was like, oh, you're mint, like, you're great, wow, 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 wow. Probably because I had a big mouth and never shut up. But anyway, it was working for me. And then I was kind of between, I kind of done it all through high school and GCSEs, like done really well at that. And my drama teacher really liked me. And I was kind of like, yeah, but is it a career? Is it not a career? I'd always done it. I'd always loved it. But I never knew it as a career. Obviously, you see Hollywood actors and whatever, but the path was never there because no one guides you at that point to be like drama school, college, BTEC, and stuff like that. And so I went and I was kind of scouting out the colleges, and it was my head of acting at Loretto College when I was like, right, at this time I was still playing football to quite a high standard, and my knee was still fine. But I just had the knee injury, but I was like, I'm going to be fine. And like, I had in my mind that I was going to go and be like a PE teacher and kind of go down the PE route because that was just the thing to do. And he was like, no, you're a real special talent. Like, come here, do the BTEC, we can guide you and whatever. And so I suppose, although I'd always done it and would tell myself that that is always what I wanted to be, it was at that moment. I still remember sitting down at that table and him going, you can do this. Like, you're very special. Like, and it was that moment that went, okay, maybe this is the career I want to be in. This is what I want to do. And like, even going to college, as much as I loved English and I loved psychology that I was doing, I loved PE, which I eventually dropped in first year. Like, it's the only class that I was really ever interested in. And so if there was a moment in time, it was probably that kind of interview for college where my teacher said, you can do this. I was always told I was great, which is always lovely, and I was good and I was good, right? And just took things to another level, kind of going through GCSE drama. Because, you know, a lot of people do it to fuck around and dick about and not. It's the class that you can doss about in. And I was the dosser, but in that class, I was the one that was always like, right, come on, we're doing it. And everyone was like, whoa, like, what's going on here? And so I've always had a love for it. But I think kind of going to college and kind of doing it as a BTEC was the moment where kind of like it got kind of carved out as a career path for me. Yeah, I think that was the kind of the pivotal moment that was like, this is a career, can be a career, and I want it to be my career, really. I think it's just having a crowd, like having people like I always say, like, film and television is great, like it does more than pays the bills, but like people can just switch it on, people can just flick through it, and like the thing about live theatre is people are coming there to watch you. They've gone online, they've researched the play, they've looked at the cast, they've looked at the storyline, and they've gone out of their way to get a tube, to get a bus, to drive to come and see you. And just for me, there's no buzz like walking out there and going, fuck it, let's see what happens. Because that's what it is. That's what it's got to be. It's got to be, fuck it, let's see what happens. Let's drop the prep and just go for it. And just seeing and feeling them reactions. Like, I remember the last play that I'd done before the rehearsals for Beast of Blue Yonder was at the Vaults Festival. And like, it was set in a northern pub, and just that atmosphere of like underneath the train line, it was dingy, it was sweaty, and you could see people, like the visceral reactions to people. And I think that's what I've missed most, is the visceral reactions. And just kind of being live in front of people and just seeing kind of, you know, there's a quote, and I heard it on the telly the other day, like people forget what you say, people forget something else, but people never forget how you make them feel. And I think for me, that's what theatre is about making people feel something and realise something. And I think for me, that's what I've missed. I think what have I not missed is definitely putting hours on end of work into stuff, going for an audition and being told no for a project that you really fucking like and you really think, yes, this is it, to just hear nothing. And just having that, like, audition on a Monday, waking up on a Tuesday and going, oh, I might hear today, nothing. Oh, yeah, but it might be tomorrow. Waking up on a Wednesday, oh, nothing. But it might be tomorrow. And then the weekend comes and you're like, fucking hell, it's going to be Monday morning. Now you get up on Monday and then, you know, and I know there was the big thing a few months ago about like letting actors know even when they've got a no. But I feel that it was like just a little thing that came around for a little while, because like it does mess with your head. Like, you know, you think you've done really well, and more so self-tapes, because you've got no direction. You don't know, you could have think you've got it, but you've completely missed the mark. And because you're not in the room of a director, you really don't know if you've missed the mark. And so what you think is great is completely off the mark and just absolutely not what they want. So I think I've not missed that at all, kind of sitting and waiting for decisions and waiting to hear if it's yours and whatnot. I think that's definitely kind of not missed that. Just an electrifying night of just pure genius. Both kind of, I've seen the other guys' performances online, and just a roller coaster of an evening. That, and temperature depending, it's going to be hot, and it's going to be invigorating. It's visceral, it's fast paced, it's electrifying. I think it's eye opening and mouth dropping, certainly on my behalf. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with all them adjectives and all them doing words and all them feelings and all them thoughts.